This is a good one. This is actually my favorite one.
Oh yeah,
This is from Christine, funny enough. Not yours or mine.
isn't that funny?
So random Christine. Yeah. What are your thoughts on things like swearing and or locker room, again in these, behavior around youth players? It seems like they're taught one thing in the school environment, for example, but then go to hockey or whatever other sport and all that is out the window. I like this one.
Yeah?
I like this one.
Do you want me to answer it or you?
It's up to you, really. You want to start?
Okay, I'll start. So this is we talked about this several times, is that people have different standards for different things in their life, and if a teacher does something negative at school, the parents are going to go in there and flip their lid on the teacher. So if the teacher throws an F-bomb in class, these kids are going to come home and say, oh my God, if they do that, or if they throw a eraser.
Yeah.
Do you have erasers anymore in school?
Not really. Well, they use whiteboards.
Yeah,
so
whiteboard eraser, throw a marker and throw an F-bomb. Probably other teachers would complain. Someone in that class is going home. Someone's going to the principal. That teacher's going to have a sit down with either teachers, principal, and it's is it warranted? I guess I don't know, because I don't care. In hockey, if you do that, it's if you went and complained to the board, they'd say and
right, yeah.
Or if the kid said, oh, the coach said an F-bomb today, they'd say, oh yeah, like whatever. Or maybe you get the odd person. So, in a perfect world, yeah, you shouldn't swear in front of kids, I guess. But I do. I've
okay, but should
no.
Okay,
like,
go.
He's never heard me not speak the way I speak.
Right.
And when I was a kid, I would.
Okay,
so for example, if this is the way I spoke to my kid, so if he was eating chicken wings and he'd have shit all over his face, I wouldn't say, even at 3, right, Charlie? I wouldn't say, oh, hey, Charlie, let's wipe your cute little face because you got chicken sauce on your face. Like, let's make it nice. I'd look at him, I go, is your face numb? He'd go, what? Right? You got shit on your face. That's what I would say to him. He'd be 3 and he'd go, oh, lick it off, right? That's how I spoke to him. So when I would, that's my language to him, just like it would be to you. Yeah. And a lot of people at the time would say, well, that's not the way you talk to a kid. And I said, well, that's the way I talk to my kid. Turned out to be a decent kid. And he doesn't do what I do. He doesn't speak. He knows when to turn it on and off. So I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem if a coach comes in there with 6-year-olds and he's F-bombing and everything, can't put a sentence together. But in a perfect world, if you want to make everybody happy, you probably cannot use foul language. Is that the word?
Yeah.
So anyways, it doesn't bother me. But I would try to be intelligent and use other words. You can use other colorful words, but it's going to happen sometimes. I personally don't have a problem with it. And some people really do.
Yep.
I don't know.
Maybe a hot take here. I don't know. But yeah. I like having both things being reasonable on either end. So if you have a complete idiot,
that's stupid,
then we're not talking about that. And if you have the teacher where everything's rainbow and sunshine, I'm not talking about that either. So you can get the extreme teacher person where it's like you can never do one thing out of line or you're calling the police or something. And then on the other side, you have the idiot coach that at that end of the extreme speaks inappropriately or whatever for the age. So neither of those, I'm excluding those. So if we're in the land of the reasonable, which is where I like to speak on, then I like having a different environment because the kids have to learn how to behave in different environments. So I think it's good. Like you kind of were saying, in a perfect world, I don't even know if you believe this, but in a perfect world, it's like you don't. But it's like, I feel like in a perfect world, you kind of do. Like I'll tell everybody right now, in case they didn't know, if your kid is in grade 6, they swear. So when they're not with adults, they swear to each other. So is it good to like pretend that we don't do that? Or is it like when you're at work with your work colleagues, you guys swear or you talk about whatever, however you talk about it. So it's just more real life to have a mix. So I like the contrast of, okay, you're in the hockey environment, excuse me, where you're in the hockey environment where one set of rules is acceptable. And then you go to another environment and there's a different set of rules that are acceptable.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to a teacher telling my kid to go.
Right, but even
Like
if they don't,
I would never have a problem with that.
but even if they don't, even if you go to class and your teacher is super
Yeah.
super teacher, it's like it's good that the kid has to figure out how to behave
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this environment and in this environment, and they can figure out how to switch between the two. So I like that. I don't like that. I don't think there should be just one rule set for every situation.
Because
you know?
in life, you can be a banker during the day.
Yeah.
Why did I pick that
I
one?
don't know. Not
Seems
bad.
appropriate not to swear at the bank.
Yeah.
So you could be a banker during the day, and you can have your hockey friends at night or your garage buddies at night where you drink beer with, and there should be a different tone,
Yeah,
different
right?
language.
And I think that's fine.
Because you can't actually be a banker and say certain shit.
Yeah, and if you go to the garage with your buddies and you're acting like a banker, you're
Yeah,
not going to
you're
be
not-
with
you
the buddies for
We're not
very
very
long.
friends.
And if you act like you're in the garage
Yeah.
at the bank, you're getting
Yeah.
fired,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's like it makes sense that you have to learn how to navigate those two things. So instead of it being, like there's a positive and a negative or whatever, it's like it's all good. It's like you have to, again, assuming we're in the land of the reasonable, it's like it's all good that kids can learn how to turn it on and off depending on the environment. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know if I've had people, like, you do get the odd kid that goes, "Oh, you said shit."
oh yeah, for sure.
You said shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bad word. It's
I know.
like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I know.
But
Um,
yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be honest, and like you said, in a perfect world, that was a bullshit statement that I made. It's not a perfect world. I don't. It doesn't bother me either way. And this is where I think, this is where we get maybe a little backlash. But like, you can't be that sensitive in life that if someone says a bad word that you're offended. Like this is, I learned this from the words. I learned these words from a friend of mine who was a very successful man. He said, "If what I say offends you, it's your problem. Right? You need to figure it out. It's not me, or vice versa, right? So someone's words shouldn't really change your life.
I would
or offend
agree.
you.